Sasa's Kitchen, and today we're making Sie Mie. It's a steamed tapioca dessert. You can get it in Chinese dim sum restaurants. And we've got 3 different fillings here. We got lotus seed, red bean, and black sesame. The most popular one you'll find is of course the red bean, but my favorite is actually the black sesame, and then it would probably be the lotus and then the red bean. So this is what they look like. They are actually so easy to make, and not only they're easy to make, they're really cheap. It's just like you soak the bubbles, and then you pack it up, and then steam it, and then you just eat it. That's it. So when you're at a Cantonese dim sum restaurant, it's called Sie Mie. Sie Mie is what those little pearls or bubbles are called. Sie Mie. Go is like a little pudding kind of thing, so it's called Sie Mie. Sie Mie. We're gonna measure out about half a cup. Like this, and allow this to soak for at least an hour. You need the bubbles to absorb some water, or else when you just steam it, like nothing's gonna happen because it's like a dry rock. Unless you like eating rocks, but you know, I like mine nice and squishy. The history about these, I actually always used to call these things, like especially when they're cooked, 'cause right now you can't tell, but when they were cooked, they're like clear, right? And they're little balls. And sometimes in Chinese food, in desserts, they always put these, like red bean dessert or like coconut taro pudding dessert. They would put these, right? So when I was a kid, I would always call these things eyeballs because they're clear and they're like kind of translucent. They're kind of slimy as well. So I would always call them eyeball soup. So whenever my mom would make it, I'd be like, oh, the red bean eyeball soup. So one time I was at a restaurant and I asked the waiter, I want, can I have the eyeball soup? And the guy was like, the what? And then my mom corrected me, but anyways, I still, to this day, always call these eyeballs. I'm like, I'm gonna put the eyeballs in the soup, and so yeah, eyeballs. This is the cassava root, and this plant, it's a root, right? They use it to make tapioca and the tapioca starch, right? So these are it's the sago, or in Cantonese, it's Sie Mie. So this is the larger ones. If you use these ones, it will take forever to steam, right? So make sure you buy the small ones so you can see the difference. The main ingredient in this is the cassava, which is that plant, and water, okay? When you're making bubble tea, this is the one for bubble tea. Bubble tea is originated from Taiwan, so they have their own special secret recipe. It's not just tapioca in this. There's like brown sugar, caramel flavor colors, and other ingredients. That's why if you get the wrong one, it won't turn out correct. But when you're making bubble tea, you need this one. And for this dessert, make sure you get this one. In English, you'll be able to see something like sago. They might not have the U, but sago and tapioca pearls. Like, you just check the ingredients to know it. And this is mainly from Thailand. That's where they make the most. Okay, so after it's been soaking for about an hour, you can see that they've enlarged a bit, so you can just strain them out. Just like this, and then we'll just add this back. Now we're going to add some sugar. I add about like 2 small teaspoons. And also like 1 tablespoon, a large spoon of oil. I'll just mix this. Put a large part of water to boil, and make sure it's quite a bit, because if you don't put enough water, it can dry steam, and this is really, 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 really bad for your pot. Put the little bowls to steam them. These are like these nice little bowls that are actually used for the steaming, but if you don't have these specific kind, you can like improvise. Like if you use a little small jar or these like plastic silicone measuring cups, you can either find like teacups or like these dim sum teacups. They all work perfectly fine. So what you do, spoon a little bit into the bottom, right there, and I've got 3 different pastes. Red bean paste, so yeah, just like this is the pre-store made one. Black sesame, and also white lotus. My favorite is white lotus. It's really creamy and nice rich. So then you take your knife. It's best to refrigerate these pastes. Once you open it, I normally refrigerate, or you can even, I like to store it in the freezer as well. But you want to have it a little bit hard, because at room temperature, it can be really mushy and it's more difficult to work to form in a nice ball. So I recommend to refrigerate it. So you take a small amount, place it inside here. Then you top it up with more of the bubbles. And then with your spoon, just smooth and flatten this out. Build it all up, right? Place this in your steamer, so mine fits like this, and then close the lid and steam it for about 20 minutes, and then we're going to check on it to make sure that it's all clear and transparent. You can use like a toothpick to check. I'm going to check it, and be careful of the steam. Okay. So now you can see it's like see-through and clear. So what you can do, you can just take a knife and poke it. It should be like a little bit sticky, so you can see that. So now it's done. So just let it cool for like maybe 2 minutes before you remove it. I like to scoop it out with a plastic spoon because that way it doesn't like scratch your cup or your bowl. And it's like, obviously because this can bend, so it's more like flexible. Plop. Take a look, it's really yummy. Okay, so now we're all done. Looks really nice. So normally when you're at the dim sum restaurant, if you order like 3 of them, it will still cost you like $3 or $4. But you can buy a whole bag of the Sie Mie, the sago, and it's like only like 99 cents. So it's really cheap to make, and you can easily make it yourself. So that's it. I'm not gonna taste it. I don't know why in some of those cooking videos, then at the end the host, whatever they take it, they eat it, they're like, oh, it's so delicious. I'm like, well, that's kind of fake, because like obviously you're not gonna say that it tastes really bad because then no one's gonna make it, right? And how can you taste it? Like you have to actually make it yourself and then taste it, and then you'll find out. Like I'm not gonna taste it and say it's great. You have to taste it and you'll know it's great because it's just great. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thank you very much for watching. And if you want the recipe, the printout, it's going to be on my blog, so it's really easy to, like, there'll be a link, a PDF, so you can print it very easily so that you can start making your own. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye!